The moon is our primal force, carrying the deepest and most instinctive thoughts within us. Her waxing and waning subtly pull at our soul, shaping our well-being, emotions, reactions, and choices. She reflects our hopes for the self, our longing for security, and the unspoken depths of our subconscious, each imprinting the echoes of our earliest home. If the sun shapes our character and core values, then the moon reigns over our intuition and inner emotions. The worship of the moon has been deeply embedded in human civilization since prehistoric times, shaping religious practices, agricultural cycles, and astrological traditions across cultures. The moon's phases and its connection to tides, fertility, and timekeeping made it a central celestial body in mythologies and astrological systems worldwide. Astrologers throughout history have regarded the moon as a vital influence on human behavior, emotions, and destiny. In traditional astrology, the moon rules Cancer and governs the fourth house, which is associated with home, ancestry, and the subconscious. Lunar phases played a key role in electional astrology, guiding the timing of activities such as planting, travel, and coronations. In medieval Europe, court astrologers closely monitored the moon's position, using it for predictions that often shaped royal decisions.
中國古代史中與太陰星即月亮有關嘅天文占卜，主要體現在天象觀測、太陰曆法、月占、望氣等方面。中國古代嘅望氣術中，月亮形態、顏色同亮度均被用來占卜國運與吉凶。其中月色異常，如古人認為月亮變紅，又名血月或變黑，即月食，預警戰爭、瘟疫或天災。月亮周圍有光圈、月雲，被視為大變之兆，可能代表戰爭或政權更迭。《漢書·五行志》記載月雲兵起也，月蝕喺中國古代被視為天變異象，常與國家命運相關。古人視月蝕為天譴，認為代表帝王德行有虧，應當修德以應天。春秋記載月食陰盛則國弱。中國古代使用太陰曆，並根據月相決定吉凶日。朔日初一適合閉關靜修，不宜遠行。望日15陽氣最盛，適合祈福祭祀。晦日月底陰氣轉盛，忌重大活動。中國命理學紫微斗數中，太陰星即月亮為甲級主星，屬性純陰，主柔、智慧、財富。為財帛、田宅公主，化氣為富，主宰領域包括智慧、內在情感、財富、享受、貴人。命座太陰一般性格慎重、溫和，重視生活，愛好藝術與文學。太陰之財可理解為一生財務穩定，係慢慢積蓄而來，並非一朝暴富嘅類型。太陰星喺夜間嘅力量較強，故晚間出生太陰座命宮嘅人為廟旺得位。而太陰喺至午時分就處於落陷位，表示星宿的能量被壓制、減弱、失利。所有人命盤上都有相同數量嘅吉星跟凶星，但由於所處宮位不同，命格上就有雲泥之別。一個吉星如果所處宮位冇其他助力，不幸仲要遇上凶星，太陰星嘅能量就無法好好發揮，甚至會成為弱點。紫微斗數對太陰星嘅解讀比較偏重人生趨勢、財富、貴人運，以至生活方式，強調積累而來嘅精神力量與財富，變化較緩慢，代表對漫長人生週期嘅運勢。古典占星術以觀測月亮作為指引占卜嘅傳統一直延續到現代占星術。月亮每2.5天換一個星座，因此影響人嘅情緒變化較快，喺個人和集體週期中發揮關鍵作用。而現代占星對月亮的分析則偏重於個人內在感受、情緒模式、潛意識，而不僅僅用作占卜命運同財富。
The moon, in its silent grace, reveals the soul's first language, instinct. It speaks through our most immediate, intuitive responses, flowing in the rhythm of the sign it occupies. This is the whisper of our inner nature, the way we feel before we think, the emotion before the word. The moon also carries the ancestral thread, the emotional imprints passed down through generations, woven from the energies of our parents and those who came before. At times, these inheritances feel like gentle blessings, at others, like silent burdens we must learn to release or transform. Yet within this sacred inheritance lies the seed of self-understanding. To embrace the essence of our moon sign is to begin the journey of inner alchemy, transmuting reaction into awareness, emotion into wisdom. It is through this deepening that we step closer to emotional wholeness, to a life lived in alignment with our soul's rhythm. The sign where the moon resides reveals the sacred pattern of our emotional response when touched by the world, a celestial script that guides how we open, protect, connect, or retreat in the presence of others. Individuals with the moon in Aries respond emotionally and react impulsively to situations. They are often accident-prone, diving headfirst into action when emotionally stirred. Their quick temper can become problematic, especially when their emotional energy is intense and unrestrained. When this dynamic energy is channeled positively, they become decisive leaders, capable of accomplishing great things with fierce determination, often inspiring others to pursue a shared vision. They are passionate and exciting partners, but easily bored. Their constant need for action and independence can push them to seek new experiences, rarely staying in one place long enough for the grass to grow beneath their feet. When their personal matters are threatened, selfish tendencies may emerge, and they instinctively put themselves first. In traditional astrology, the moon finds one of its most potent expressions in Taurus. It is said to be exalted here. Whether Taurus governs your sun or your moon, the need for a stable, secure foundation runs deep. When that security is shaken, Taurians respond swiftly and emotionally, as if their very roots have been disturbed. These souls are drawn to tradition and the familiar. They find comfort in structure and a deep sense of rhythm in the tried and true. Their grounded nature and practical wisdom become valuable assets, especially in times of uncertainty. Yet this same steadfastness can harden into stubbornness. Possessive by nature, they may cling tightly, whether to material things or to long-held beliefs. If the chart leans heavily on other fixed signs, the tendency to get stuck in familiar ruts may become a pattern difficult to break. Lovers of beauty and the sensual pleasures of life, Taurians delight in good food, cozy surroundings, and aesthetic comforts. But in times of stress, their indulgent streak can surface. Food often becomes a source of emotional refuge, and without balance, this can lead to issues with weight and overall well-being. When the moon is in Gemini, emotions are filtered through the mind. These individuals process their feelings intellectually rather than instinctively. Curious, communicative, and mentally agile, they need stimulation and variety to feel emotionally fulfilled. Expressing emotions through words, whether by talking, writing, or even joking, comes naturally to them. At times, they may appear emotionally detached, not due to a lack of depth, but because they tend to analyze feelings rather than fully immerse in them. They can be impatient with those who aren't able to connect with them on a mental level. These individuals thrive in dynamic, ever-changing environments, enjoy social interaction, and adapt quickly to new situations. However, their moods can be as changeable as the Gemini archetype itself. They often prefer to keep things light and may avoid emotional entanglements unless they feel a strong intellectual connection. Their biggest challenge lies within themselves, the tendency to overthink or remain emotionally scattered. In relationships, Moon and Gemini people crave communication and mental rapport. Emotional security comes from being understood and having the freedom to explore ideas, experiences, and connections on their own terms. The mother figure of someone with a Gemini moon is often sociable, mentally sharp, and well-connected, someone with exceptional networking skills who influences the child from an early age. As they grow, these individuals naturally gravitate toward expanding their own network, echoing the maternal influence. The moon, being the third most influential factor in our birth chart and the ruler of Cancer, holds considerable significance in this placement. Cancerians are known for their emotional defensiveness, a defining trait in both Cancer sun and moon signs. Their emotional depth and heightened intuition are especially pronounced when they feel challenged or threatened. These individuals must learn to trust their instincts, as their intuitive guidance can lead them through turbulent times. Their own sensitivity and vulnerability allow them to connect deeply with others, making them natural caregivers who excel at offering comfort and nurturing support. They have a strong desire not only to protect and care for those they love but also to be cared for in return. Their powerful nesting instinct reflects a deep need for emotional security and a safe, loving environment. When under stress, Cancerians may become withdrawn or retreat into their emotions rather than openly communicating. They often hesitate to express their true feelings, fearing they might be perceived as weak. The Cancer moon bestows a deeply rooted family instinct. Home, family, and food serve as primary sources of comfort and grounding. Many with this placement are profoundly family-oriented. However, some may carry emotional wounds from childhood, which can shape their worldview well into adulthood. Coming to terms with parental relationships, whether nurturing or challenging, may take longer than it does for individuals with other moon sign placements. Typically, individuals with the moon in Leo tend to dramatize their emotions. They crave attention, admiration, and thrive on recognition and acknowledgement. Confident and self-assured, they have no hesitation in taking charge and often display a strong sense of personal importance. At times, they may come across as bossy, dogmatic, or stubborn. Emotional expression is often theatrical, and there is a powerful desire to excel, driven by a constant comparison of their achievements with those of their peers as a way to validate their feelings. They possess an innate need to make a strong impression, especially during their younger years, a lesson many learn the hard way. However, Moon and Leo individuals are remarkably composed and capable in crises, as leadership and organizational skills come naturally to them. Their nurturing style involves showering others with attention, boosting confidence, and inspiring through praise. They are proud caregivers who hold themselves and their children in high esteem. The maternal figure associated with this moon placement is typically warm, strong, and highly creative, though she may also have a flair for drama. If these individuals received abundant attention from their mothers during childhood, they are likely to carry the expectation of being the center of attention into adulthood. As parents, they may enjoy showcasing their children, sometimes literally putting them in the spotlight. Those with the moon in Leo also take great pride in their homes. They are drawn to a sense of luxury and often aspire to a pampered lifestyle. Many enjoy dressing stylishly, even in private, treating home life as another stage on which to shine. The Virgo moon describes an individual naturally inclined to serve others and manage daily routines in a methodical, organized way. They communicate with remarkable precision, and their analytical approach to life ensures that nothing escapes their keen observation. Virgo moon individuals are excellent team players who invest great effort into building strong foundations for the greater good of everyone involved. Their sharp minds are often in overdrive, which can easily lead them to become workaholics if they don't set firm boundaries to protect their health. These individuals carry a kindred spirit when it comes to caring for the weak and less fortunate, often feeling a deep need to be needed. They are especially connected to animals and are natural advocates for their welfare. The mother figure for someone with a Virgo moon may have been difficult to please, confrontational, sharp-tongued, and controlling. Her parenting style often leans toward excessive discipline and setting high, sometimes unrealistic standards. If her idealism becomes too rigid, it can backfire, leading to strained relationships and constant tension at home. With the moon placed in a Mercury-ruled sign, there is a notable flair for language and a strong ability to express thoughts and emotions clearly. Virgo moons find emotional security in predictable routines and in the closeness of family and trusted friends. Being a mutable sign, they adapt quickly to change, and their quick wit helps them find solutions and make adjustments on short notice. In management, Virgo moons tend to micromanage and involve themselves deeply in daily operations. While they are not afraid to get their hands dirty, their tendency to constantly oversee and interfere can be frustrating for their subordinates. People born under a Libra moon find their sense of security in a harmonized environment, whether within their family, circle of friends, or among colleagues at work. They feel deeply unsettled by conflict and often hesitate to make the first move, preferring to maintain equilibrium. Their indecisiveness stems from an innate desire to preserve balance in all relationships. Avoidance is part of their emotional fight-or-flight response, and learning to confront this burden is essential for them to achieve true inner peace. Diplomatic and persuasive, Libra moon individuals excel as negotiators in roles that bring people together. Driven by a strong need for approval, they often keep interactions light and mask their deeper emotions. While they strive to be agreeable and behave appropriately, this can sometimes come at the cost of expressing their most authentic selves. It's impossible to fully understand them at first glance. Only those within their trusted inner circle may glimpse the other side of the moon, and it can be startling to realize how much was hidden beneath the surface. As parents, they tend to be accommodating and yielding. However, their deep-rooted urge to maintain peace at any cost can sometimes create a false sense of harmony, where real issues are ignored or swept under the rug. In worse cases, they may overlook red flags that could have been addressed earlier, believing everything is fine when it isn't. This moon sign also has a natural appreciation for beauty and aesthetics, often creating tasteful and elegant homes. Women with a Libra moon exude grace, while men often present themselves with impeccable style. They aim to project positive energy in all social settings and are deeply conscious of their image. Their social strategies are often well calculated, with a keen focus on maximizing outcomes, every interaction carefully optimized, as if with a personal agenda in mind. Moon and Scorpio individuals carry a deep sense of emotional vulnerability and are intensely private about their true feelings. Naturally suspicious and observant, they possess a sharp investigative mind and tend to question the motives of anyone attempting to get close. Trust doesn't come easily to them, and relationships are approached with caution, as they instinctively assess the risks and benefits before letting anyone in, if they do at all. These individuals often lead emotionally intense lives, driven by challenges and the need to overcome adversity. Paradoxically, they crave deep, unconditional love while simultaneously guarding their inner world. This inner conflict can manifest as a yearning for connection, coupled with a powerful fear of vulnerability. Their heightened sensitivity and underlying feelings of inferiority can make it difficult for them to form deep, meaningful relationships, which often require a leap of faith in the goodness of others, something they struggle with. Instead of expressing their emotions openly, they tend to rely on logic and self-restraint when faced with problems. However, this emotional suppression can lead to explosive outbursts, as repressed feelings build to overwhelming levels. When threatened or insecure, they may become controlling or defensive, especially if they feel their values or sense of self is under attack. Many Scorpio moon natives may have experienced a traumatic or unstable upbringing, often involving unreliable caregivers. These early wounds can lead to a general mistrust of others and a strong desire for control, attention, or even emotional possession in relationships. The emotional landscape of a Scorpio moon runs deep and powerful. Depending on aspects with other planets, this intensity can either lead to profound personal transformation and healing from past trauma, or, conversely, to destructive reactions when they feel endangered, potentially causing harm to themselves and those around them. Their path is one of learning to trust, channel their emotional depth constructively, and ultimately transform pain into power. Sagittarians are known for their optimistic outlook and uplifting, free-spirited nature. However, when the moon is placed in this sign, it often conceals a lonely soul behind a cheeky, adventurous persona. These individuals may seem like the life of the party, but deep down, they can be introspective loners with a surprisingly pessimistic view of the world. They often struggle with self-confidence and harbor a general distrust of others. In times of adversity, they may resort to escapism and procrastination rather than facing issues head-on. Though they possess deep emotional sensitivity, they're hesitant to show vulnerability or ask for help, fearing it may be seen as weakness. Without a healthy outlet for their bottled-up stress and negative thoughts, they may be prone to emotional burnout or even depression. Despite their internal struggles, these individuals are idealists at heart. They seek truth with relentless passion and will go to great lengths to find it. Charismatic and dogmatic in their beliefs, Sagittarius moons often feel called to share their insights with others. They have a natural inclination to lead, and are not afraid to take on responsibility if it serves a greater cause, whether for their peers, community, or followers. Born wanderers, Sagittarius moon individuals thrive on freedom. They cannot be boxed in and have a strong aversion to routine or anything that feels mundane. Interestingly, they may be more traditional than they appear, often shaped by a mother figure who is both independent and liberal, yet emphasize the importance of proper values and doing the right thing. They crave higher learning and are endlessly fascinated by foreign lands and cultures. Adventurous and spontaneous, nothing excites them more than living a life off the beaten path. They are always in search of a new quest, a new horizon to chase, a target for their symbolic bow and arrow. When they become parents, they surprise even themselves with how grounded and committed they are. They raise their children with warmth, generosity, and a fierce sense of protection. Yet, it's crucial for them to remember that everyone has moments of weakness, and it's okay to feel defeated at times. Embracing this truth without guilt is essential for their emotional well-being. With the moon in Capricorn, emotional expression is filtered through the lens of maturity, discipline, and realism. This placement reflects a restrained, practical, and conservative worldview. Inner peace for these individuals stems from their ability to build security from the ground up, through persistence, structure, and long-term commitment. They are not drawn to shortcuts. Instead, they prefer a steady, methodical climb towards success. Hard work and a strong sense of duty are their guiding principles. Capricorn moons deeply value structure, tradition, and earned respect. They strive to be seen as established, dependable figures within their communities, the pillars of knowledge and reliability among their peers. In times of adversity, they instinctively lean on past experience and conventional wisdom, favoring tested approaches over improvisation. Spontaneity does not come naturally to them. They may struggle with inner conflict when faced with unfamiliar paths, torn between the safety of the known and the potential risk of unexplored options. This cautious nature can give rise to a pessimistic outlook, often clouded by self-doubt and a fear of failure, which can inhibit personal growth. Many with this placement grow up in traditional or institutional environments where early responsibility was a necessity, not a choice. They are often forced to mature quickly, developing a strong sense of duty at a young age. This can make them exceptionally grounded and reliable, but sometimes at the expense of their emotional freedom and self-care. Capricorn moons may find it challenging to relax and simply enjoy the moment. Their relentless pursuit of goals and achievements often leaves little room for play or leisure. Without conscious emotional development, this placement is prone to pessimism, emotional inhibition, and chronic stress or burnout. Over-identification with work, reputation, and duty can lead to a disconnection from personal needs and joy. However, when integrated, the moon in Capricorn offers exceptional emotional resilience, strategic care for others, and the ability to create a stable, nurturing environment through reliable presence and long-term planning. Those with the moon in Aquarius are drawn to ideals that serve the greater good of humanity. Deeply sympathetic to the needs of others, they are naturally friendly and socially approachable. However, beneath their amicable exterior lies a strong desire for emotional distance, privacy, and personal freedom. While they strive to maintain harmonious relationships, they are often emotionally detached, valuing independence over intimacy. These individuals dislike being perceived as weak, overly emotional, or dramatic. Instead, they prefer to process their experiences through logic and reason. Their communication style is typically lighthearted and neutral, often maintaining a subtle distance even with those closest to them, including family. Physical affection may feel uncomfortable or intrusive to them, as they often have an aversion to touch. Although they are intellectually curious and genuinely interested in people, their connections tend to be impartial and cerebral rather than emotionally driven. They often harbor a quiet skepticism toward human nature and may find it difficult to trust others fully. Revealing their inner emotions, especially in public, can feel deeply vulnerable. Yet their keen empathy, combined with an intuitive understanding of universal patterns, makes them exceptionally resourceful problem solvers. They are drawn to abstract ideas, visionary concepts, and often find solace in logic and a connection to the higher self. Ruled by Uranus, the planet of innovation and disruption, Aquarius moons possess a forward-thinking mindset. They are unafraid to challenge outdated beliefs and societal structures in pursuit of progress. These individuals often feel more at ease with technology and machinery than with human emotions. In the age of Aquarius, they are likely to be among the first to embrace AI and other emerging technologies, finding in them a sense of belonging and purpose. As parents, Aquarius moons adopt a liberal, egalitarian approach. They often relate to their children more as friends or equals than traditional authority figures. They encourage independence within the family unit and promote mutual respect among members. Many lunar Aquarians value solitude and personal space, often preferring non-traditional family dynamics or living arrangements. It's not uncommon for them to create unconventional homes that support their unique rhythms and ideals. Pisces, as a mutable water sign, is the most impressionable and absorbent placement for any planet, and when the moon resides here, its imaginative and emotional qualities are greatly amplified. This placement often distorts the boundary between reality and fantasy, resulting in a dreamy, unpredictable emotional landscape. The moon in Pisces is highly receptive to external influences. Any planetary aspects it forms can dramatically sway the emotional tone and inner experience. Individuals with this placement tend to believe deeply in fate, magic, and miracles. They often view themselves and others through rose-tinted glasses, preferring to see the beauty and potential in every soul. They feel most nurtured in environments that elevate them emotionally and tend to harbor a powerful sense of escapism. Naturally sensitive and empathetic, they are attuned to the suffering and vulnerabilities of others, often reflecting this awareness inward. Sometimes, they become entangled in others' problems as a way of avoiding their own emotional challenges. Many feel a subconscious need to rescue others, which can lead to one-sided or codependent relationships. Without self-awareness and intervention, they may fall into patterns of victimhood, escaping into fantasy rather than taking accountability. Moon in Pisces is also a hallmark of artistic talent. These individuals are often drawn to the fine arts, dance, drama, or music. At heart, they are born artists who channel their vast emotional experiences into creative expression, often with a childlike sense of wonder and sincerity. They possess a deeply romantic mind and seek emotional security through connections that fulfill their inner fantasies and ideals. However, they must be cautious of codependent tendencies, which can lead them into unrealistic or unhealthy relationships where they end up as victims of their own illusions. As parents, they may struggle with setting healthy boundaries. Their deep emotional involvement with their children can manifest as overprotection or overcompensation, often blurring the lines between nurturing and control. This can hinder a child's psychological development and autonomy. If not kept in check, their caregiving may become emotionally manipulative, stifling their loved ones in the name of love. However, when healthy boundaries are in place, these individuals are among the most imaginative and valuable contributors in any field. Their heightened sensitivity allows them to access creative and intuitive depths others cannot reach. Like modern-day alchemists, their belief in the impossible makes them capable of manifesting the extraordinary.